Yo, people, what's going on? Back again with another footy talk. Lewis is here, blood, and boy, what a difference 7 days make, innit, fam?
Straight back to being the most hated football club again. And we still haven't sold anyone. So mad.
Not
and
yet.
all for nothing, really.
Mm.
Like, when you really deep it, what are people annoyed about with Chelsea? Or we're selling players to Saudi Arabia. Who knew you could transfer players to other football clubs? I never knew you could do that, bruv. I never knew you could do that.
No,
It's
I
all
hate you.
mad.
Bruv,
Before they complained that we hoard players, now we're selling players. What can we do? Okay, people are just gonna bitch and moan, regardless.
100%.
What's the point?
No,
I
you're
don't
right.
get it, man. I don't get it at all. We're selling players at basically book value or like 5 to 10 million pounds profit. And people are acting like crazy money's been spent and we're getting money injected into our club by dubious circumstances. From the same fan base, by the way, who's about to spend 60, 65 million on Kai Havertz. The one that's giving us more money than any of the Saudis are for any individual player. For a worse player than any of the 4 that we're selling to Saudi. How does that make sense? By the way, Party could potentially be going there as well. So I guess it's not bad unless they do it.
No, you know what it is, though, with them fans? What you have to deep about them fans is like, bro, they always need somewhere to project their frustrations, innit? Because it's never at their own club, innit? Especially not now with the Arteta train. But come on, bro. They just almost won the league or whatever. No, I mean, they've had 2 bids rejected for Declan Rice because they're going in there with all these stupid installments. How about you just go there with the asking price and get the deal done? Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what Chelsea do.
There's 55 plus 5 BS. Nah, pay the 60. Clearly want him. Up 5 million and take him.
But this is exactly what it is, though. Chelsea go and do things the right way. And the one thing that Chelsea do, better than any other team is, bro, like, if they know they want to get rid of a player, they sign their replacement before they sell them. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that.
And Nkunku just came in today for cheaper than what we're going to sell Kai Havertz to Arsenal for.
Yep.
That's the difference. That's the difference. These guys are just crazy. These guys are just crying because they've been cussing out Todd Boehly for the longest. And yet again, he continues to find loopholes and he continues to find ways around. His football IQ ain't there. Fair enough. Like, I won't debate that one. He's made mistakes. But he's a good businessman. And you got to respect him for that. FFP is literally being changed this summer just because of Todd Boehly and the way he used the 8-year contracts and everything. You lot should not be angry because you lot were all laughing at us a year ago when we got sanctioned. You lot were happy to let the UK government have their say in who owned Chelsea and you got what you wanted. We were in 12th and you laughed because you got what you wanted. Now the joke's dead. Don't get pissed about it. Don't get pissed about it. This is why 100%. I've said, like, Boehly, 1 season, that's it. You've made mistakes, but I'm willing to give you more time because it's not been a complete disaster. It's only been on the pitch. Off the pitch, there's been some mistakes. There's been some smart movements. Being able to bring the likes of Enzo and Mudryk and all these youth players because they're on 8-year contracts. The outgoings. We're about to pull 60 million for one of the worst football players I've ever watched put on a Chelsea shirt, and he's going to my rivals. Brilliant. The whole Manchester United Mount situation. You might get 50, 60 million for him. Half of our deadwood, who I didn't even think we would be able to sell, we've managed to find a place for them in Saudi Arabia with brilliant contracts that could take anybody off. And people are just pissed because it's Saudi Arabia. Big up to Todd Boehly. The only reason why people are angry is because of Saudi Arabia and because they want to run this oil money narrative. If this was the MLS with £2 billion put into their league to try and bring in players, nobody would say anything. Nobody would say anything. It's only because it's Saudi Arabia people want to run this, or it's immoral and everything. What's immoral about transfers?
No, but they're trying to say that there's a percentage stake by basically the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in one of the businesses that own your company, own your club. This is what they're saying. Even though it's like a 5% stake or something like that, they think there's something sinister in there, but there isn't. Do you know what I mean? They're by them Saudi guys are signing people from everywhere, not just Chelsea. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bernardo Silva, Party.
They're trying to get everyone.
There was a few others as well. Like they're going.
They even got linked with Wilfred Zaha, bro. Listen, they're trying to sign any and everyone. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
So,
but like because we have a fuck ton of players and we have a lot that we need to get rid of. It's an easy link up to have. You lot want a bunch of big name players. We have a bunch that we're trying to get rid of. It's literally just that, and the whole thing as well is it's up to 5% stake in what that they've invested into Clear Lake, which is literally an investment firm, and they have zero decision making of it.
Yeah,
it's just
so they
people
just
who
put their
don't
money there.
understand and read a headline and just make some BS narrative.
5% don't give you no say in nothing, bro. And I mean, if you got less than 50%, literally, you ain't got no say in shit, really. Do you know? But 5% is minus no say in shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
if
yeah,
we were working
I don't
together,
know.
they wouldn't have taken Kante yet, because we would have still been trying to re-sign him. Doesn't fit the narrative, though. Doesn't fit the narrative.
No, 100%.
But it's fine, because they can moan all they want. They got what they wanted. We've got the owner that we want, and we're going to have the clear out that we want as well. All we've just found is a completely new avenue, which really suits us, because they'll take any of our deadwood, probably just match the wages and just pay whatever the book value is, because they've got so much money. All they want to do is just put big names into the league. That's it.
100%, bro. Like, I don't have a single problem with what Chelsea are doing. They're acting like a proper football club. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what they're doing, and that's what they should do. So, boy, when people are talking about corruption and pardon?
We just caught everyone off guard.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say you caught. You wouldn't say you caught me off guard. I knew you lot were doing what you were doing. Like, it was a very clear.
Not you in general.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
but it was a very clear.
Like, oh, Chelsea's one idiot owner. This stupid Yankee.
But it was a very clear transfer strategy from Chelsea. They're gonna buy all of these young players. It was clear that they were building for the future. They were willing to spend whatever they had to spend, to get these players in, because ultimately it was about a rebuild. You know what I mean? And they just decided to do it in 1 or 2 windows instead of doing it over 4. Nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? And then on top of that, they already had a list of their players that they were going to get rid of anyway. You know what I mean? So even if you're bringing in players in January, Chelsea always knew in the summer which players they wanted rid of. They knew. And then some popped up that necessarily weren't on that list, like the Koulibalys and stuff like that. But at least your owners held his hands up and said, you know what? We tried the thing, it didn't work out. Let's just flog him. Do you know what I mean? Instead of trying to keep him and try and, like what Man United done with Maguire, we signed him, realized it wasn't a good signing, but because we committed to spending that money, we decided to just hold on to that idiot when we should have just cut our losses, innit? That's why I rate Todd Boehly for being ruthless and saying, you know what? We bought him, it hasn't worked out. He can fuck off. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what a proper owner that wants to win does. If you want to be successful in life, you have to be ruthless. That is it.
This is what sticks out to me with Boehly. That's why throughout the whole of last season, when it's like, yeah, he shouldn't have sacked Tuchel. Yeah, he did take a while to sack Potter, but at least he got to that point instead of holding him to the end of the season. The whole Mason Mount situation. Thankfully, he's completely ignoring our tapped fan base and their attachment to him and their attachment to Havertz and to Gallagher. If you're not good enough, if you're not part of the future, or you don't want to be part of the future, you can leave and it's fine. And that's what sticks out to me with him. That's why everyone judging him after one season. It's way too early to do that. Now we have a manager who I think is proven and will be given a good amount of time to build the squad in his image, just like Potter would have done if he wasn't an idiot for 6 months. Now we have that. Now we're going to build a squad in his image. I can see how he reacts with that, how much influence he has. Does he leave the manager to do his own thing? What does he do in terms of future transfers? Or if the team needs more players coming in when we're in a better position, but we need to stabilize ourselves there. That's where you can start to judge him. Not in the first season. Way too early to do this Boehly out narrative. Criticize where you want to criticize. Don't be a sheep. I completely agree. Don't be a sheep. But I feel like there's always this thing in football with managers and owners where you can only ever be in or out. You can never be in the middle. You can never be objective and just judge things as you see them. Like, for example, with Potter, you can either be Potter in or you can be Potter out. You can never be in the middle. And if you say one thing that leans to one side, suddenly you're Potter out. You say one thing that leans the other way, suddenly you're Potter in. It's just a case of give him time, give him a couple years. Let me see where the squad's at in 2 years' time. And then maybe I'll have a better idea of my thoughts on Todd Boehly by then. It's too early now.
No, facts. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was fair enough to say that, yo, this guy don't know what he's doing when he came in. And he doesn't know what he's doing. However, he has a team in place that clearly know what they're doing. And also, he's willing to back them financially. So he doesn't need to. Yeah, so he doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to know what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, he's got people that do and he's willing to back them. At the beginning, obviously, because of when he came in, his hands were tied to a certain extent. He didn't have the people in place to do certain things. So he was a bit more proactive and it looked like he was a madman at the time. But fuck, boy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not looking too shabby now. Do you know what I'm saying?
This is the thing, because like I'll be fine with all those criticisms, but now, like you've said, as soon as he's built this infrastructure, which if you really want to use context, the guy came in like this time last year, June, July, in the middle of a transfer window with basically no infrastructure. Everyone had left by that point or were going to leave. He's had a season where you've had to manage the team on the pitch. Also, you've sacked the manager because of off-the-field issues too. And then you have to build your infrastructure as well. It's going to be a failure. Part of it is because of his like naivety and everything. Tuchel should have gone before the season started or by the end of the season, not in September after you've had an entire window building for him. But that's going to come. With the fact that now he's stepping back and we actually have footballing heads in charge, again, now is when you judge. Before, way too early, but I understand the narrative. Rival fans will take the piss as much as they want. It's just Chelsea fans that I was disappointed in. You lot are just crying over Roman too much. And I understand we're never going to find an owner better than Roman. It is what it is. You can either cry about it and mourn, or you can move on and try and get things working. One thing's going to work, one thing isn't. Crying about Roman ain't going to bring him back. But you can try and build the club into the best image that you would have wanted it to be left in. And that's what should matter more.
Yeah, of course. But that's what happened when you first sacked Lampard as well. Everyone was just mourning the sacking of Lampard the first time round. Do you know what I'm saying? And they didn't want to give the next manager a chance, bro. And this is just
calling him Tottenham Tommy. Because there was an interview where, back at Dortmund where he was like, Tottenham was my favorite team because I played as them. They were my first English team I played with on FIFA, and I just really liked the kit and the name and everything.
You see what I mean?
I was like, why are you got this Tottenham fan? Well, guess you don't hate him now, do you?
And then he won you a Champions League. Do you know what I mean? After all that bollocks. So because of that,
pretty Tottenham of him.
But this is it. So I don't know. Fans are gonna do what they're gonna do. And big up Tobes for the super chat. Said 10 hours on thin ice. His talent ID's looking all booky and letting Iqbal go. He'll ruin Ahmad too, I'm sure. Don't piss me off, man. I don't know. I've seen this. A lot of Man United fans are getting annoyed by this. Zidane Iqbal got sold. Bro, like, it's one of them ones where technically he's one of our most promising young players, isn't it? But I think that his physique, his stature does not suit the Premier League, innit? He was never going to get a chance here. As much as I like him, on the ball, he's amazing. Do you know what I mean? A great player, but he suits playing on the continent somewhere. He was never going to play for Man United. He's too skinny, probably not tall enough, not physical enough. But to sell a player for 1 million, yeah, it's typical Man United. We don't do good business anywhere. I mean, 1 million is a piss take. You might as well let him go for free. Like, what the fuck is 1 million quid?
That's what don't make sense to me. I can understand if you don't think he's good enough to make it in the Premier League, and like that's up for debate. I don't really watch him like that. But for someone who's meant to be a youth prospect and like have one of the highest potential players, I guess, that you guys were going to have coming through at the time, right? Right. So why haven't you at least loaned him and then tried to sell him for a little bit more the year
that's
after?
Exactly. But that's what good business is. Like, instead of selling him, you loan him out. You let him go out there and actually make a name for himself in men's football, yeah? And then, do you know what I mean? And then you make money on him.
Been on loan?
Pardon?
Has he even been on loan?
To my knowledge, not a high profile loan if he has been on loan.
Let me have a quick check. No, he's just...
That's what I mean, because pre-season, he's been with us in pre-season. So as far as I know, he hasn't been out on loan nowhere. So send him out on loan, let him make a name for himself. Or maybe they couldn't send him out on loan, maybe because his contract was running down because they didn't handle it properly. Do you know what I mean? So maybe
is it that hard to sign a youth player on like a 1-year deal and just?
I don't know, but when they get to a certain age, it's like you almost got to give them a proper contract. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like maybe they didn't want to do that. Like the club's an absolute shambles.
Experience. That comes with experience, though, because at that age, let's say you would have already had a loan or two by then. You would have already had a bit of experience under your belt. If you don't, then you can't negotiate for anything if you're that player going into it anyway. You're just more grateful United's offered you a contract. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
It's definitely
maybe that's why I'm trying to ask for more amount money.
Yeah, bro, it's definitely a physicality thing. Yeah, he plays in central midfield, innit? It's one of them ones where he's not really mad explosive. He's not really athletic, but he's very technical, innit? Like he doesn't suit Manchester United anyway, the way that we play and the way that the manager wants to play. And I understand why he's not keeping him, even though he's one of our most talented players. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like on the ball, he's one of our most talented players in the that youth team. But bro, fuck it. Like man saying Garnacho's small, but Garnacho's a wide forward, bro. Like you don't really have to have the same physical attributes as when you play central midfield. When you're a ball winner, when you're playing box to box and stuff like that, and you're in the engine room, it's completely different than when you're a wide player. You can be small and quick and all that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where the way Manchester United play, it's not even set up structurally for a player of his ilk to thrive. Do you know what I mean? We're already seeing, players like Sancho, not thriving in this Man United team, and people are talking about Zidane Iqbal, bro. Like, bro, fundamentally, that's it. Fundamentally, Manchester United are not set up for technical players to thrive, bro. The team's a mess. The way you play football, shit. The way that the manager structured the team, and the way that he wants us to play ain't conducive to no technical players, bro. Whether we like it or not. I told you again. I told you once, and I keep telling you, bro. He's trying to do this bullshit pace and power Jurgen Klopp intensity football, bro. It's fucking shit. However, like I'll back the manager because he's here now, bruv. You know, like that. And that's just how it is. Like when he came in, I thought that we were going to play some technical football. It's a Dutch manager. I thought we were going to be able to keep the ball better than that. We were going to be a lot more organized. And instead, all I've gotten is bullshit. That's just all I've gotten, bro. Like I've said it, like categorically, even when Liverpool are winning things, I think they're one of the worst teams to watch in the game because it's very direct, relying very much on just pacey forwards to kind of just make things happen and other teams making mistakes. However, at least when Liverpool built that team, they built that team with scorers, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? When you look at that Liverpool team, you look at Jota, when you look at Salah, when you look at Nunez, when you look at Gakpo, these are 4 guys, that are pretty quick, and will get you goals. Man, when you look at Man United's attacking line, bro, the pace ain't really there like that, and the goals ain't really there like that. Do you know what I mean? So if we're gonna play this shit transition football that Liverpool play, at least make sure there's goals at the other end. But we're playing that football without the goals, innit? And then we can't keep the ball. Like it's a nightmare, innit? It's a nightmare to watch. For someone who's a genuine football fan and not just a Man United fan, we're horrible to watch, innit? And the players that we're getting linked with are not making ourselves any better to watch. So it's concerning for me, bro. Like I'll be lying if I didn't say that the style of football we're playing and the players we're being linked with is not concerning for me. It's very concerning. And seeing Iqbal leave, and like I said, Ahmad's coming back, allegedly. I reckon he doesn't come back. I reckon he goes out on loan again. Or if he does come back, he doesn't get no minutes. I remember I told you I don't think he rates him.
That too far.
If he rated Ahmad, why did he let him go out on loan already, bro? He was ahead of Garnacho, and somehow Garnacho ended up ahead of Ahmad. Somehow. Ahmad was playing Europa League with us under Oli when Garnacho, no one went talking about him. And all of a sudden, Garnacho is playing in the Prem and Ahmad's out on loan. Don't make no sense, bro. Like, I think that Ahmad's not going to get a look.
The pathway for him is a Premier League loan. It looks that way for him.
If Ahmad goes out on loan again, he'll never play for Man United. His only chance is now. Coming off the back of a promotion and a great season at a club that wanted to keep him. The fans love him. They're saying that he's the best player that they've ever seen play for him. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's a big it's a big statement. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's one of them ones.
Even for Sunderland,
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's a kid as well. So if they're saying he's the best player that they've ever had, and we don't give him a chance, at least as a squad player this season, he'll never get a chance in this team because this team is not good enough to turn their nose up at a player that was doing what he was doing last season. Doesn't matter where it was.
I think pre-season will be a big tell, I guess. You have to see how he performs in that. I think if he balls out, then it will look crazy to even loan him out, especially if you guys don't bring in any like goal scorers or any forwards, because that's already a big enough issue for you. You need to make sure a big striker comes in, be it Kane, Osimhen, or whatever. To be fair, I heard Osimhen's re-signing for another 2 years, so I don't even think
he was always going to do that, bro. He probably sat down at the table with the mobsters and they said, listen, pussy, you're not leaving, so you might as well sign a new deal, innit, and get some more money. Because, bro, that's what Napoli are like.
Yeah, you know I mean? Yeah, and to be honest, he's an icon there as well. There's no real reason for you to leave, especially not now. You could do more with Napoli. You could win a couple more Serie A's, maybe even push further in the Champions League because everyone was expecting them to make the final last season. Yeah, you might as well. I thought like it would be easy for him to just move on to the Premier League and everything like most players do. But when you deep it, couldn't be more settled than he is right now. In terms of the way the fans view him, in terms of the place where he's in, like Italy would probably be an amazing place to settle down in, especially as a football player. I don't blame him. Just enjoy your time there.
100%. 100%. Do you know what I mean? So we just have to keep an eye, guys. But listen, I'm not one of them United fans, yeah, that's gonna sit here and bullshit you and tell you that I'm not concerned with the players we're being linked with and the players that we're being linked with letting go, bruv. If we let go of players like Iqbal, yeah, we don't play players like Ahmad, and we let go of players like Fred, yeah, before McTominay, it's a big fucking concern for me. You know, like that's a big concern for me because when Fred comes on, yeah, he impacts games for the better for us. He makes an impact. This Scott McTominay guy, when he comes on the pitch, it's like he might as well have not come on, innit? It's one of them ones. I get that he's homegrown and maybe it's a quota thing, but he's not even good enough off the bench, innit? So when we're looking at what players we should be getting rid of, the difference between Man United and Chelsea is Chelsea are getting rid of all the players that we know they should be getting rid of. The likes of Pulisic, the likes of Ziyech, the likes of Mount. Do you know what I'm saying? These are the kind of players, the likes of Havertz, the players that we know they should be getting rid of, they're actually getting rid of. They're doing what we should be doing, but we seem to be getting rid of the wrong players and bringing in the wrong players. And it looks like Chelsea actually have a way of playing and they're bringing in the right players.
I would say I don't expect it from you guys, but you guys have had poor windows before in the past. I would have just thought with Ten Hag, though, this would have been a better... Last season was meant to be the perfect step up, I guess, for you guys, because you did a lot better than I expected you lot to, but it feels like Arsenal where I don't really know if you guys are taking advantage of the situation that you guys put yourselves in, because you should be having a much better window than this. I'm seeing you're linked with Mount still. Don't know what's happening on the Kane front. Who else?
Bruv, there's been nothing of Kane. Like basically, they basically said Man United pulled out of the Kane race or something because Tottenham made it clear that they're not going to sell him to Man United at any cost, bro.
Tottenham are idiots, bro. They're going to lose him on a free, and they don't even give a shit. Whatever.
Probably.
I ain't feeling bad for Tottenham. But then, what are you not going to do for a striker?
Bro, I have no idea.
Need more goals.
We're getting linked with Højlund and obviously Mason coming back, bro. I think that's gonna be our strikers, bro. Like honestly, like we're not gonna do no more than we're not gonna do more than that. We're not gonna do more than that, bro. You know what I mean? It's a shambles,
I mean, Højlund would be a decent move. I don't really know what to expect from him in terms of the step up from Serie A to the Premier League. He's not as proven as a Haaland, so you can't just say, he's going to come in and bag 30 goals or anything. I guess with Greenwood was a good finisher. Like he had a crazy finish on him on both feet, so I guess I could see that work.
Bro, he's a goal scorer. I don't have no concerns about that. He's going to score goals, innit? But my thing is, for what we're going to end up spending on Højlund, it's like we should be getting a proven goal scorer, bro, like at the top level. Because he's going to cost us probably at least 60, 70 million because they're going to rip us off. Like, we're not going to go in there and get a nice little 45, 50 million deal. We're going to spend 70 odd million on this guy and he's not worth it. He's a good player, but he's still potential. He's a prospect.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on him too, especially with your record of big money signings.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know. Greenwood might be your best shout, but it's like, how much do you think the timeout would have affected his development?
Not much, I'll be honest. Not much, I'll be honest. I don't think so.
And let alone that is the pressure in terms of football. Opposition fans are going to be onto that guy's neck from minute one.
Again, I don't think that concerns him, you know. You know what I mean? I don't think that concerns him. The one thing I've said about Greenwood from the very, very, very beginning, yeah, this guy, he's got a certain quiet arrogance about him that he doesn't care. Like, even when Ronaldo was there, like, he fell out with Ronaldo and he just didn't want to pass him the ball. Like, you could see it in the game, innit? Like, he just decided he didn't like him. And it was just like, fuck this guy, innit? Like, and for someone so young to just look at him and just be like, yo, fuck this guy. This guy, he's not going to be fazed by a bit of booing. Like, genuinely, like, he won't be fazed, innit? Like, he's got a proper, quiet arrogance about him. So it's one of them ones where I don't worry about him. And in terms of his finishing, that's not something that he's learned in the academy. That's something that he's just, bro, that's a gift, innit? That's a gift. You don't lose that. Being able to strike a ball with both feet like that. Come on, what? A year out? Come on, that ain't nothing.
I remember watching him in 1920, just like, bro, he's just scoring every fucking game, bro. Yeah, he's got good technique. He's got brilliant technique with that. But he still keeps it, then yeah, like your goal scoring issues.
Listen, once he gets a preseason under his belt, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a kid, he's young. You know what I mean? It's not like he's 33 years old and he needs to play loads and loads of games and that. When he comes back, he's probably still going to be in decent shape. He would have probably still been keeping fit anyway. And when you're at that age, your metabolism's nuts anyway. He's probably like chilling anyway. You know, like that. The Brew's probably eating chocolate and fizzy drinks and that, not putting on no weight, blood. That's what them kids are like. You know what I'm saying? He'll still be in decent shape. He's not a player that runs loads anyway. So it's not going to be like, oh, yeah, he's going to have to get super fit. Bro, just give him the ball in certain areas. He'll put the ball in the back of the net. He's that kind of player, innit? So I'm not really worried about him at all. I think that if anyone has the mentality to actually take this, or all the negatives and literally use it to fuel putting the ball in the back of the net, is him. Do you know what I'm saying?
It'll be interesting to see how it plays into practice on the pitch. But I mean, he was the best youngster, I thought, in terms of finishing back in 1920, 2021-ish. Yeah, he had crazy finishing. So if he does replicate that, then yeah, I don't think you have to worry too much of him and Rashford on either side. It's just a question of who you play in the middle.
I don't think so. I think the manager plays him down the middle in this system. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Do you want like Diallo, Greenwood, and Rashford front three?
I don't think Diallo starts anyway. I think Anthony's just the manager signing, so Anthony's always going to start, innit? You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
No, I mean, so it'd be Anthony and Rashford, and then someone else through the middle, innit? That's how I see it being at the start of next season. I really don't know where the manager's leaning at the moment. Big up my man for the super chat. He said Timber to Arsenal. Really, United don't want him, bro. If Man United wanted Timber, they would have him already. You know, like that. That's one thing I would say. If United wanted him, we would have him already. We could have had him, and we decided to go for Lissandro instead, which costs more money, and got Lissandro, and we got Anthony from the same club. If we wanted Timber, we would have him. So I don't know. When Arsenal fans saying, "Oh yeah, we hijacked him from Man United," you didn't hijack shit, bruh. If you do sign him, you're signing a player that you know of because he was linked to Man United, but there's a reason why we didn't sign him. Do you know what I mean? So, like, literally, Man United have never been hijacked by Arsenal for any player, bruv. Your club's not big like that. You know what I mean? So relax. So if you end up getting Timber, it's because we didn't want him.
The Arsenal fans just been taking L's the whole summer window. They have to act like they dropped one on someone else. That's it. If we want to be real about it.
It's that, innit?
Pretend that means something. We're still sending us 60 million at the end of the week. So you can hold that. I can't wait for Havertz to join Arsenal, man. It's going to be glorious. Is it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just what it is, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Man is saying that Ajax didn't want to sell any more to us. Bro, Timber was the first player that we got linked with in that summer. Before Lissandro, before Anthony. Anyone that supports Man United knows, yeah, that he was the first player we were linked with, Jurriën Timber, bro. The first player before Lissandro.
I feel like I remember that name, but only
so there's none of this. Ajax didn't want to sell no more players. He was the first player before Lissandro, because Lissandro was linked to Arsenal. Jurriën Timber was linked to us. We didn't sign Timber, and Arsenal thought they were getting Lissandro. Man were telling me they were going to play him left back. Trust me, dog. And then Lissandro signed for us instead of Arsenal, because he picked up the phone and he called Erik ten Hag and he said, listen, big man, if you don't sign me, I'm going to Arsenal because I'm definitely leaving. That was the conversation. And Ten Hag went, yo, cool, we're going to get this money for you, big man. That's what happened. That's what happened. So this Jurriën Timber thing, listen, we didn't get him because we didn't want him enough. He was a player that we inquired about, but he wasn't a priority. So if Arsenal fans want to feel better, if they do get him, because it's not done yet, because you're probably going with a bid, yeah, that doesn't get accepted. You know, like that,
20 million add-ons and all.
You know, like that, 50% add-ons and that.
And we'll pay the base fee in 5 installments over 5 years.
Bro, you know, like that. I mean, that cowboy A do. So it's one of them ones where, bro, you lot keep doing your thing. If you do get Timber, good on you, innit? But we didn't want the youth like that. Do you know what I mean? So relax. This is just what it is.
With Havertz in your team, you need another defender, so go for it. Go for it. Especially if you're about to put that brother in the midfield. I can't wait to see him in the Xhaka role. Well, with what physicality, what defensive awareness, what ability to take a man on, what tenacity.
Fucking hilarious. You know, like that. Man said Rants that already happened. We offered 30. See, bruv, don't take the piss. And they want 50. I didn't even know that. Nah, that's funny, man. You see what's wrong with Arsenal?
So it was 20. It was 20. You joke, man. Oh my god.
Nah, what's wrong with Arsenal, man? You see what I mean? Like, this club's not serious. You know what I mean? And Louis van Gaal told every player in that Dutch national team, if you're not playing football, yeah, you're not guaranteed to play for man. You know, like that. So it is what it is. Timber wasn't a priority, because if he did come in, he was coming in to sit on the bench. Lissandro went straight into our team. They bid 30 million and they knew the asking price was 50. What is wrong with these, man?
Stingy ass club, bro, but I get they've got to run up the Havertz money first. Priorities.
Hey, bro, they're taking... Bro, what's wrong with this club?
A lot.
Bro. Nah, hey, bro, what is wrong with this club?
The man are getting rejected so much, bro. They're maybe like the 3 out of 10 at the club.
Man said that last Arsenal, at least Arsenal are bidding. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think. You know the ones there. So when they get rejected, yeah, they're gonna say, oh, you know what? The club wanted too much money. Because that's what they'll do. Edu, yeah, is putting in all this effort to make it look like he's serious. So when you don't get these players, he'll say that, the market value wasn't right. Do you know what I'm saying? Or the teams tried to exploit us and all these other things. Bro, if you're serious about a player, you go and you just pay the money. Chelsea are signing players in the middle of the season, blood. The middle of the season. They had that Nkunku deal wrapped up before the season was done. You don't need to. The same thing happened with Pulisic. You do not need to wait till the summer to sign players. If you're a serious club, you go to a club and say, what do you value this player at? This? All right, cool. Look at Grealish, yeah, and Man City. Man City said, yo, how much is it? 100 million? All right, then here you go, mate. That was it. There weren't no bidding war. It wasn't first bid for Jack Grealish rejected. It wasn't that.
Let me put 60 million and we'll put like a couple of add-ons in there, or a sell-on fee maybe if you'd like that. Maybe we could send you a player back.
Not only that, Arsenal try to be slick, because I read that West Ham was saying, yeah, that the add-ons weren't looking achievable and that. They probably had a Champions League clause in there.
20 million if Rice goes invincible or some shit.
Some mad thing. You know them mad release clauses and that. Like if he gets a Ballon d'Or, then an extra 5 million and that. If we win the league, an extra 10 million. If we win the Champions League, then you get 5 or 10 million. This is nonsense. Just pay the money. If they're saying they want 100 million, you give them 100 million. This is exactly what you do. Like this is what proper clubs do, bro. Like you just pay the money, innit? I don't want to see. So all this, at least we're bidding. No. That doesn't make no sense. At least we're bidding.
Get some transfers in, bruv. At least we're bidding don't mean shit when nobody's coming through the door. Like, what are we doing? Pre-season is in 2 weeks.
At least we're bidding. That's like man them being in the club and saying, "Oh, at least I'm buying her drinks, blood." Nah, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't seal the deal, then all you were, was the sponsor for the night. That's all you were. You were just a sponsor for the night. You know them ones, because now all you've done, is you've alerted Man City, to the fact that West Ham are willing to negotiate for man. So now, if they want him, they'll just come in and take him.
You just showed another man that the girl's single.
That's it.
Just swooped in and took your girl.
All you've done, fam. You know, like that. Like Rants in business, you need to negotiate. Bro, I know that better than anyone, bro. However, there's ways to negotiate. Do you know what I'm saying? And also, there's certain things you cannot negotiate in. If somebody says to me, yo, Rants, the price for the loaf of bread is £1. I can't come in and say, oh, you know what, I'll give you 80p. Like, bro, that's the price of the loaf of bread, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you go and negotiate. You do not go to a team, and say to a team, how much are you willing to sell me Declan Rice for, And they say, his price is 100 million. Cool. That's not a negotiation. That's not a negotiation, bro. It's not that.
And even then, like, if you're going to negotiate, try and negotiate from something a little bit more realistic.
Bruv, negotiate somewhere closer to the asking price. How can you negotiate 20 million off, bro? You know, like that. When you go to buy a house,
5-10 million, cool. I get that. That makes more sense.
Even if you're going to buy a house, and the house is valued at, say, 750, and you offer 730 or 740, maybe you might offer 730 just to test the water. Do you know what I mean? You can't go in. If they want 100 million for man, you can't go in and offer them like 75 million plus 10 and million also, don't plus forget, 5 million plus what?
This is their best player in years, and they're expecting other clubs to have interest in him too. And you think they're going to accept some bummy 20, 30 million off with potential add-ons if they win the quadruple or some bollocks? No.
Yeah.
No, you got to negotiate closer to it. Or if you want to even add a clause, add something realistic. Maybe like top 4 or something, or if he gets a certain amount of assists or clean sheets in the season.
Yeah.
Or something that makes sense. Not a trophy you've never touched. Like, come on.
But this is it. And a man saying, oh, you're saying overpay for players. Bro, if you want a player and you know that a player is integral to the way you want to play, and you know you're losing players, you have to close your eyes and pay the money. City closed their eyes and paid the 100 million for Jack Grealish. There wasn't a negotiation. Do you know what I'm saying? We've known for 2 years, 100% that Declan Rice, they were going to want 100 M's or thereabouts. There was no secret that that's how much he was going to go for. West Ham don't have players come through their academy that often, that get to playing for England and that. What last time they done that would have been Rio and Defoe and Cole and them, man. It's a long time ago. And Lampard. Do you know what I mean? So of course they're gonna want to cash in on this brother. And this brother starts for England. Do you know what I mean? So with all the hype, and they've just won a European trophy, and you think you're gonna go in there with some 70 million fuckeries, bro. Like, that don't even make no sense.
They just think they're a small club, and it's like, here, take 70 million. It means a lot more to you guys than it does to us.
Bro.
No, they know the value of the player, bro. And the value that the player has to them is probably more than the value that that player has to you.
Yeah.
You got to remember the difference of both sides. Arsenal competing at the top of the table. West Ham just stayed up. Even though they did win the Conference League, but they should have been winning the Conference League from the jump anyway. They've only just stayed up. They're looking at 2 completely different targets. Rice is probably worth way more than that to West Ham. So you can't
because think about it. He sells the most shirts at that club, but by loads. Probably every other shirt in that stadium's a Rice shirt. He's their captain
player by a mile.
He's their captain.
No one even comes close. Maybe Zuma. That's it.
Come on, bro. He's their captain.
And even Zuma's stocks dropped after the whole cat incident.
Exactly. So he's worth a lot to them. Do you know what I mean? So they're like, if we're going to let this brother go, our captain, the face of this club, all of this, we have to make a pretty penny. And they've looked at Grealish has gone for 100. Do you know what I mean? And they're seeing that there's rumors that Chelsea wants 60, 70 for Mount. So, of course, they're going to want over 100 for him. Do you know what I mean? Man saying you can't just fly him with a 100 million bid. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to put together a package that equals near enough 100 million. I'm not saying give them 100 million up front. But you got to come in with some fucking sense, bro.
Do you know what I mean? 30 million off.
Yeah, like 30 million off.
10 at the most. 10 at the most would be like, fair enough. You're probably not going to get it, but I understand. Everything past that, it's like you're insulting them.
And the thing is, yeah, there's a difference between negotiating down and putting in a bid. Because if they said to me, yo, Rants, we want 120, I'll negotiate it down with them. But if I notice that they're not buying the negotiations, what's the point of me putting in an official bid and embarrassing myself? What is the point? Because you think that these men don't talk here before faxes go through? Do you think that they're negotiating via email, bro? Like, these men are on the phone. They call my man. If they call up the owner, they say to the owner, yo, we want Declan, how much? Man says 120 mil. We're like, 100 mil. They're like, nah, 120 mil. All right, cool. Then I put in a bid of 70. Bro, what? Bruv, I'll put on the phone on you. Bruv, you can't call me again. I'll block your number. Because you're not...
That it goes back to what you said earlier, where it's like they just want to make it look like they've actually done something. So we put in a bid. We're trying to get it to work. You guys need to just calm down, relax, stop pressing us for transfers. They will come when they accept the bids that we're offering. But right now, that's just a little bit off. They want to act like they're doing something. Fact is, all you've done is longed out the whole Rice to Arsenal saga for another 4 days.
That's it.
Nothing else.
This is it, because they know that Man City are sitting there. It's no secret that City have the money, and they're there, and Gundo, hasn't renewed, and they'll probably be moving on a few more people. So the fact that these men have told you how much he's worth is disrespectful, putting in an official bid that you know is going to go to the newspapers and stuff, because you know we're not accepting it. So what are you doing? Are you trying to bully us into accepting it? Are you putting in this low bid so that the player can be unsettled and then we have to end up accepting less money? Is that what you're trying to do? Because that's how I would look at it. Do you know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense, because that's a Real Madrid tactic.
Bro, bruv, this is how I would look at it. As a businessman, if I say to you, I want 100 million, and you officially come in with 70 after I've told you 100, I think you're trying to bully me. I think you're trying to strong arm, man. So because of that, I'm not answering your phone calls now.
That makes sense. But I think the only thing is, like, they know Rice is leaving this summer, so they're not going to do that yet. Probably because no one else has come in for him just yet. Let a second team come in, though. They'll start talking to them a lot more nicer. They might even accept less.
Yeah, 100. You know
just to fucking tell Arsenal to suck it.
Trust me, you lot, boy, we got nearly 1.5k in here, man. Get them lights up, man. We need at least 750 in this bitch, bruv. You get me? You lot slap that like button.
Assist rate, bruv.
Yeah, trust me, it's mad, innit, bruv? Bare freeloaders in here, bruv. Smash the like button, people. Do you know what I mean? But no, this is their way of trying to bully West Ham, because they think West Ham are a little man club, bro. There's no other reason, why they would officially put in a bid that low, because before bids are put in, there are unofficial talks. Do you know what I'm saying? And they would have made it clear what their valuation of the player is. So to put in something that's so far away from the official value, it's like, what are you trying to do? Alert Declan Rice to the fact that, yo, we're trying, but these men are doing what? And then Declan's going to do what? Nah, bro. Trying to move mad. Just do proper business. You know, like that. It is what it is. Yo, big up the super chat. There's a question for you here, bro.
I thought Declan Rice was a Chelsea fan, so why doesn't Chelsea? Here's the thing. We've been linked to Declan Rice for this is the 7th window. I was calling it 007 window for Declan Rice, because 0 bids, 0 nothing. Like, we're just not in for him. I'm guessing it's a price tag or something, but we've never actually had interest in Declan Rice. I think Lampard wanted him, but Chelsea at the time didn't want to embarrass themselves by overspending for a player that used to be in their academy, so they never focused on him, and we haven't looked at him since. Even the new regime aren't really looking at him too tough. We're looking at other options: Lavia, Caicedo, just a couple others I can't remember off the top of my head, but the point still stands. We're not in for him.
There it goes. You know, like that. I said, Caicedo was an Arsenal target in January, but now it's Rice in the summer. What about good relations with Brighton? This is what I mean. Most of these bids are PR, bro. This is what Arsenal fans need to understand. These bids are PR stunts, bro. Because if you really, really wanted Caicedo, you'd have dropped the bread, because you was going to drop like 70 million on Mudryk. Then all of a sudden it was Caicedo. And then you end up with fucking Kivior and fucking Jorginho, blood. These men are, bruv, they're pulling your leg. These men are not serious. A man saying apparently.
I don't know if it's got anything to do with the fact that we said we were going to match any of their offers.
Yeah, you did say that about Caicedo.
Maybe that plays a part. I'm not sure.
You know what I mean? Apparently they agreed he would be 90 million, but changed their mind and said they want 100 million. See, again, that's just stuff here that they're trying to string out there in the media, bro. Because let's be completely honest, yeah. The fact that they won a European Cup, yeah, that doesn't increase his value. Like, they knew that they were going to be in the finals anyway. Like, once they would have been negotiating, that's neither here nor there. Like, a club's valuation of a player is not going to go up just because they won that trophy. Don't believe that for a second.
Let's call it what it is as well. Like,
we're hearing Declan Rice 100 million for the last 2 seasons.
That's the thing for me as well. Like, they're not going to be so amateur in negotiations that they're going to be like, yeah, 90 million is fine, and then come back the next day like, nope, sorry, we made a mistake. It's actually 100 million, so you're going to need another 10 to actually start. No, like, Rice has been rumored to be leaving for years. All I've ever heard is 100. I've heard above 100, 120 in certain summer windows. So no, I don't believe he's dropped to just 90. Maybe it's 90 and add-ons to 100. Maybe it's that.
That's it.
But it would never be a 90 base fee.
Bro, Jack went for 100 and you think they're going to let Declan go for 90?
It's not happening. And again, way more valuable than, I'd say, no, maybe debatably compared to Grealish at Villa. But there's the same level of value, and they're both way more valuable compared to where Arsenal would view him now and Arsenal's position in the Premier League. Losing Declan Rice, a massive blow to West Ham. If they don't replace him right, they could sink down the table even further. So, for Arsenal, if they don't lose Declan Rice, they'll find another midfielder, or at the most they drop out of the top 4. It's not the same.
Yeah, 100%. He is worth a lot more in terms of, but to be fair, if you get 100 million, there's a lot you can do. They can easily replace him. Yeah, they can easily replace him with 2 midfielders, bro, and still have money left over. Like, that 100 million, they can do some good business with that. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe, bruv. They brought in players like Paqueta and stuff like that, bro. They can go out there, sign a couple man, yeah, and be calm. You know what I mean? I'll be real. Like, 100 million for Declan Rice is an absolute rip-off. So it's one of them.
Their valuation of him, though. That's it. Like, I see this comment as well. I don't think individually he's worth 100 million, which is why I've always said I don't really want Rice. I think he's a good player, but I've never thought he was worth the price tag that he's on. But that's how much West Ham value him, because West Ham, respectfully, are a much smaller team with a massive player in the team. So that value of that one player is going to be way more than what you view him to be, because the loss of him is going to impact them massively. That's the difference.
100%. And you lot, the link to sub to Lewis's channel is pinned as well. So you lot make sure you click that shit. I mean, they're saying that they want Paulinho as a replacement. That'd be a good replacement as well.
Oh, the Brazilian guy.
I think Paulinho's at what fucking?
No, I'm thinking of Paulinho. Oh, fuck, my bad. What, João Paulinho, the Fulham guy?
Yeah.
He should be upgrading. He should be going up the table, not down.
No, but I think he's a baller though.
Yeah, he's a great player, but like, why did he be? Are you talking about to Arsenal?
No, West Ham to replace Declan.
Yeah, that don't make sense to me. Great player, but he should be going up the table, not down the table. I don't get it.
So who would you try and replace Declan with then?
No, he's a good replacement. I don't think Paulinho himself should be going from Fulham to West Ham. I think if he leaves, he should be going to a team higher up. Shouldn't be going down to West Ham. That don't make
100%.
sense. But yeah, he's a quality player. Like, he'd be a great replacement for them. But yeah, I don't know why he'd do that himself.
Yeah, it's not.
Calvin Phillips, I see someone say that if he wanted to make that step.
Yeah, Calvin Phillips. But bruv, Calvin Phillips has not played football in a while. Like, I don't even know what this brother is anymore. You know, like that. It's been so long since he's played. It's almost like you just don't even know what this guy is. Like, what's he gonna do at West Ham? Like, I forgot even what kind of player he is, bro. Like, the whole.
That's why I doubt he makes a move. because it's not like the moves. It's not like City's failed for him yet because he's not really had the spotlight to fail. And we've seen a lot with these City players where they go to Man City in their first season don't really shine or anything. But when they have the second season, they understand the system a lot better. And then they just blow up.
Yeah, but Pep was saying he was overweight and that.
I hope he ain't overweight this summer, innit? Because that's a terrible look if that's the case.
Yeah, man.
And I can't speak. One of our best players was always overweight.
Yeah, I know what Pep was saying. Yo, this brother's fat and that. So I just don't even know if Pep. I don't even know if Pep's the kind of guy that's willing to forgive. You know them ones. Like Pep might just be one of them guys, just like fuck this fat you blood. He can leave kind of thing. So I'm not really sure. But if Calvin Phillips like is to go to West Ham, that's an easy deal, bro. You just give them Calvin Phillips and some bread.
That would what?
You know what I mean?
Hell,
Give them a little 80 million and Calvin Phillips, bro. Hold that.
You could do it for less, exactly. And then you get to fuck up Arsenal twice in a year.
That's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing Calvin Phillips with the England squad and that, and he ain't played for Man City, and that just tells you even more that Gareth Southgate's a waster. So I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. I can't even lie. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but to be fair, yeah, with a player like Rice, when you know there's other teams interested, you would just want to get it done.
That's it. You want to get it just done quickly, but again, you're putting stupid amounts in for it. All three of these clubs should be trying to get him quickly because pre-season's only in a couple weeks. Like we see what it's like when you bring in players and the season's already started or pre-season's already going in. They have to try and understand the system in limited time. You want them coming in for day one. So you might gotta be quicker about it. You gotta be much faster.
Trust me. I said if I'm Arsenal, I agree 350k with Rice. Bruv, Rice would never leave West Ham on a free blood and screw them over after there's no way. Do you know what I mean? He'll make sure that they get some money. He'll make sure.
You think if it went down to he'd sign a 1-year extension or something?
Yeah, with a release clause. That's what Jack did.
Yeah. Because I was thinking he would, but it's like, would you actually do that, or would you rather just leave? But buyback clause, a buyout clause, I guess it protects you because as soon as someone triggers it, that's it. You get to leave and you've got your move. Everyone's happy. So yeah, you could actually end up signing for a year.
100%. Oh, you lot smash that like, man. Let's get us up to 800, man. What? So where does Nkunku play for you lot anyway?
I think we're going to have him as the main creative force for us. All depends on the formation, but I would expect him to play around a striker. I'm hearing Chelsea like him so much because they feel like they got 3 players in one with him because he can play on the left, he can play as a 10 and up front. I'd rather us we just keep him to a position. I don't like this constant moving around the players. Get him into one position and let him feel comfortable there because we've done that enough times with the likes of Felix and Havertz and Mount, and then they never settle in a certain spot. But Nkunku excites me to a point because I do know it's from the Bundesliga. We've had bad luck with Bundesliga forwards, but I also don't think it's linear like that. Like, Nkunku looks a lot more technically sound to me. He looks like a much better dribbler. He looks better in tighter spaces. He's got good finishing technique. Whether he can adapt to a league with less space to work with, and which is probably a lot faster as well, I'm not sure. But I'm always willing to give a player time. I don't mind that. It's just about how you adapt after your first season. I think he should be different than the other Bundesliga forwards because the likes of Havertz was not even signed with the manager's ask. It was just a board signing. Pulisic as well. We brought him for Sarri, and then Sarri left after 6 months. So I feel like this is a lot more structured. It's a lot more structured, but we have to see. Like we've hyped up big signings before, and they haven't worked out. I don't want this to be another one, but I feel quietly excited about it. I think that would be the right word for it.
Yeah, but he's got one thing that a lot of these players that flop don't have, and that's pace. Like that. Because when you look, Oba came from Germany, he got pace. He didn't struggle.
No, but Werner had pace.
Yeah, but Werner didn't struggle with getting into positions. He struggled with scoring goals because technically he was shit, bruv. But Nkunku's not.
No, but then the same thing for Havertz. Havertz gets into the right positions, but it's the application where it's just not good. I can rate movement and all of that, but I always say for me with footballers, I need to see what you can do on the ball. That's it, because football's played on the ball. It's not played off it. That's where your best attributes show. So I get that as well. Like off the ball, I don't think I've got any worries about him personally. It's just, how do you adapt? How can you produce kind of the same numbers? Because he did win the Golden Boot this year in the Bundesliga, and he was out for like 3-4 months, which I think is a really good statement. But it was also with 16 goals. So I'm thinking it wasn't really the biggest season in terms of goals, if that's where your top goal scorer is at. There's a lot of ifs on there, but he looks like a much better technical player compared to the other Bundesliga forwards. So I feel like I can have a bit more faith with him.
But yeah. He's way better on the ball than Timo Werner ever was, in it. So I don't think that there's any I don't think there's any danger of him struggling in the same things that Werner struggled in it. But the thing is with Kai Havertz, it's like, yeah, cool, he's got a good first touch in that, but his decision making and also his inability to get away from players, it's just, bruv, it doesn't suit the Premier League, innit? Like, there's nothing about Nkunku's game, yeah, that you would think, all right, cool, he's gonna struggle here. Like, there's nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Not really. I just feel like it's like PTSD basically, because I've been here before with like 3 or 4 forwards, and I thought this will be the one that works. This will be the one that works. No, I think a lot of Chelsea fans have that same feeling as well, because we've been burned with so many forwards. It's like, I hear all the hype, but I'm not saying shit till I watch you play football, because we've been here before, man. Been here before.
Oh, facts. That you have. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hear about the Bundesliga tax, but out of all the signings that you've made, I think you'll be all right. Even when you look at Madueke and that, it's like, apart from how unorthodox he is and stuff like that, when you look at his actual profile, he's one of them players that, like, once he settles, you don't see him struggling in the Prem, because he's just quick. He's got the physicality. Do you know what I mean? And that's the main thing.
So, and the confidence as well. Like, even when we lost 3-1 to Arsenal, Madueke was the only guy who scored in that game, and probably the only good player who actually tried to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. I was seeing him take the ball in silly situations where there's 3 man cornering him and nobody's offering an option. And he's held the ball, dragged it from the halfway line all the way to the byline in the box, all before being dispossessed, only because there was just too many guys on him. All that he needs is just the better decision making, a bit more experience, and that comes with time. Same thing with Mudryk, same thing with a lot of the youth players. That's why for next season I'm excited, because there's a lot of question marks that I'm very excited to see how they would get answered. But I don't feel depressed, or I don't feel like I want to off myself like I felt for most of last season. It's just, hey, let's see what happens, innit? Our defense was fine, our attack didn't score. Now we're going to have a whole new attack. This is everything that I asked for and more.
100%. And what do you think of Jackson that you're linked with as well? If you've got Nkunku behind him, yeah, then I don't know. There should be a lot of goals there.
I don't know. I don't think he's coming in to be a number one, because he was looked at from like the young striker list. That's what was reported, because one of Brozier or Fofana could be leaving. I think a second striker would come in and he would be like the number 2 to that guy. And he looks like he's got all the traits of a very good centre forward. He looks physical. He looks like he's got good link-up play. He can drive at play as well. But it's all comps. All I've seen from him is like 5-6 minutes of comps. I'd never even heard of the guy until a week ago. But from what I've seen, looks like a good raw centre forward in the making if everything ticks and works out for him in the Premier League. But yeah, I have to see him. Looks
man saying you won't get another 9, bro. You got Lukaku coming back, bro. Do you know what I mean? Big Rom.
That ain't getting let in. He ain't getting let in the door. You see the guys moaning and complaining that we tried to sell him to Al Ahly.
Oh, is it?
Like, we're treating him poorly and everything. Like, I have never seen a football player with less social awareness than Lukaku. And it's genuinely insane. Like, you've done everything to try and leave this club and go back to Inter Milan. And now Inter Milan can't afford to keep you. Exactly. And now you can't, what was it? Now you can't go back to Inter Milan because they can't afford you. You're getting pissed that we're trying to sell you to whoever would want to take you. Why do we care what you think? You're contracted to us. If you shouldn't be having conversations with Chelsea. You should be having conversations with Inter Milan and saying, look, I will lower my wages to whatever the fuck you want. Just pay 30, 40 million and get me out of it ASAP. He should be going to every other club, any club, and just say, who wants me? Who's willing to take me off? What wages do you want? And just accept it. Because if he makes it any more difficult for us, we should just be throwing him to the under-18s. Just leave him there. Because what's the point? If he's going to make things difficult for us, we might as well just nuke his career for the fun of it. Suicide bomb it. We'll go down, but we'll take you with us. Don't care.
Just keep him and not play him, innit? It's one of them ones because, if you can't get rid of him, like if he doesn't want to leave, you just run down the contract.
Or just pay it out. I'm sure Meg can help you out with that. Like, you two can work together on something.
It's a mad thing.
You don't have to be here. We don't want you here. The only way it would have worked is if you wanted to try and make it work with us, but you've done everything to prove that you don't want to do that. So don't come back. Like we tried to push into Saudi, and he's annoyed about it. Why the fuck wouldn't we? They're willing to offer him more wages than what we're offering him. Should be grateful. He's not getting that money anywhere else.
Facts. No, I mean, but I don't know. Lukaku's a strange character. He always seems to be the architect of his own downfall, no matter where he goes.
Even the narrative with Inter fans, because I've been seeing how they've been reacting to it. They're like, they love Lukaku, but he's an idiot. The whole reason why he's not staying at Inter is because of him. He had everything on a plate for him at Inter Milan and left just because they weren't going to offer him a massive contract. Went to Chelsea, fucked it there in 6 months because he wanted to go back to Inter just because he didn't fit Tuchel's system. Got back to Inter on half the wages because we're paying the other half of those wages. Now that's not happening because we know we got fleeced last season. He's fucked. But if that's your whole decision, you could have either stayed at Inter Milan or you could have just kept your mouth shut and tried to make it work at Chelsea. Didn't do either of the things. You thought the whole world revolved around you, and now everyone's laughing at you. Now your biggest memory is going to be missing all those chances in the Champions League final. So,
it's crazy, and even Pep making fun of him, blood. Like them Pep quotes are diabolical, blood. You know,
he won the Champions League because he missed from 3 yards. Hey, nice. He ain't wrong though,
bruv. That is violent. You know, like that. That is so violent, bro.
He has to be one of the worst big game players I have ever seen. How we even got a final goal out of him, I don't know, but we'll take that as something. But every single Big Six game, this guy just disappeared. In 1 year, disappeared. Except Arsenal and everything, but you're playing Pablo Mari for fuck's sakes. Like, what flex is that?
Nah, that's extremely brazy, man. Do you know what I'm saying? But now, hey, this chat, you lot are fucking hilarious. Big up the chat as usual. The link to Lewis's channel is pinned. Make sure you click that and subscribe. It takes you straight to the link. What you got coming up, bro?
I was waiting to see if there was any Caicedo news. I was going to go live if that was the case, but probably just going to have another stream tomorrow afternoon or something, wherever transfer news pops up. And yeah, check it out, people. When Havertz and Mount leave, there will be leaving parties on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned.
Mad, man. You guys, there's nearly 1,500 of you lot in here, man. Get them likes up above 600. We're only on 520. That should really be over 700, you get me? Like 50%, man. You lot rise up the likes. Do you know what I mean? Big up everyone supporting. You already know what it is. And yo, we'll see you guys again soon.